The best thing the Lions did is all year long, they were the worst team in the red zone in the NFL, and they went 4 for 4 in the red zone in this game as the Lions get a 31-23 victory over the Green Bay Packers. And Gators, your response to this one's kind of interesting. You're just not all that impressed particularly, but 3 straight wins over the Pack, and I think there was a lot to be impressed with. But the bottom line is, I will say this. There was an uneasy feeling, wasn't there, in the beginning of the second half?
Throughout the second half, you're watching it going, they're going to need to score more.
Well, I thought there was a drive where it was the one that had the 3rd and 1. LeGarrette Blount went for 4 yards to get a first down, and then Kerryon Johnson had the 23-yard run down the sidelines where he went out with the awkward land on his foot. I thought that was a huge drive because they cut it. Green Bay cut it to 24-14, and Detroit responded with a significant drive for a touchdown. I mean, they went. Was it 8? I'm trying to find out which one this. 8 plays, 75 yards. Is that the one? And that was huge. It was absolutely huge, given the fact that it started to get a little itchy, and I thought the Lions offense stepped up when it needed to, and that's why I'm impressed today. But I don't doubt for 1 second that it would have been a different game or that the impact that the Packers' injuries had on this team. This game. 248-539-9797. Chris is in Flat Rock, and he's on 97 on the ticket. Hi, Chris.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Hey, real quick. Everybody has injuries, so that's just the NFL.
Yep.
But the only stat that matters to me is they won, and I realize that doesn't make for great talk radio, but this had all the makings of a same old Lions, right? Up 24, Rodgers brings them back, they lose, but they won the game, and they've got wins over Rodgers and Brady, and we'll take the wins where we can get them. I'm still not happy with their record, but to me, the only stat that matters is the W, and they got that. Thank God.
Well, it is the only thing that matters, and that's why I say I'm not upset. I'm very happy they won. I'm not impressed with the win. I'm happy they won. And when the season, thank you.
Bye.
When the season is all said and done, we're going to see the Patriots in the playoffs, and we'll probably see the Packers in the playoffs because both of those teams are much better teams than what we saw when they played the Lions. Injuries are a huge part, and they decimated the Patriots, and they decimated the Packers going to the Lions game. Now, we've seen the Patriots get healthy, and what are they doing? Well, they're rolling now. And I imagine the same thing will happen with the Packers when they get healthy too. But I don't care. Take it and smack them with it. That's great. And they've got the bye week. I think it comes at a good time because they do need to get healthy. The injury to Agnew does not look like a good one. Injury to Kerryon Johnson looks like that's going to be okay. And give him the week off. Great. He'll come back in healthy, ready to go. TJ Lang in concussion protocol. Is this going to help him out, or is this concussion a really long-term thing? We don't know, but it's not going to hurt the Lions to have this time off going into a game at Miami, which is another winnable game. The Miami game, to me, is the same thing as the Cowboys game, same thing as the San Francisco 49er game. They're winnable games. But, unfortunately, they're all on the road, and it's tough to win on the road in the NFL.
Champ Kenny Golladay, he's a stud. Chump Mason Crosby, although from our perspective, he could be the champ today. That's from Gary. Another one here. Champ Galvatron Kenny Golladay. We're not Galvatron. No. Chump Khabib for his heinous act after his defeat of Conor McGregor. Shameful. It's from Jeff, the bug guy. And then there's this one, Gator. And I think I recognize this guy's name because of the way he signs it. It's from Ryan at Work, R-Y-N-E. Doug is such a homer. Mason Crosby is the only reason the Lions won. If he makes 4 of 6 field goals, the Lions lose 99% of the time. The kicker makes 4 of 6. The Lions got very lucky. Ryan, I'm pretty sure you called me a homer on Friday when I picked the Lions to win the game. So I picked the Lions to win the game. They win the game, and we come back on Monday, and you call me a homer again. Look, I don't think this Lions team is anything special, but I'm going to give them credit for their performance yesterday. They created some of their own opportunities. They had 2 strip sacks of Aaron Rodgers. They had critical drives when they needed them, and they needed them in the second half. When it was 24-14 and the Lions had to put together a drive, they put together a drive. And the whole everybody under the sun that knows the Detroit Lions when it got to be 24-14 and Aaron Rodgers on the other side, how many people thought the Lions were going to win that game? How many people thought this is going to be a classic collapse? Then they don't collapse. In the end, they didn't really have to sweat it out. Green Bay didn't have the ball with a chance to win or anything like that. Yes, it got a little itchy without a doubt. But then to sit here today and say it was 100% lucky, or to say that they got very lucky, I guess you said 99% of the time the kicker makes those kicks. Yeah. And you know what? The Lions probably play the game much differently, too, in the second half. Why did Green Bay throw for 301 yards? Because they had to. Because they had to. They were coming from behind, and they had to. And Rodgers was really good at it. Like, Rodgers is exceptional coming from behind. But the Lions win it, and they win it in a way that we weren't sweating down to the final minute after having a 24-0 lead. And I'm a homer because I want to give him some credit. I don't know, man. I don't know. Because if you thought the Lions were in trouble at the beginning of the second half, okay, as what were they, a 7-point underdog, and they win by 8?
What, in this game?
Yeah, what was the spread?
It was a pick'em.
Why did I think it was a 7-point
I don't know.
underdog?
It was a pick'em game.
You're right, it was. My bad. Anyway, the point is, right down to the end, we thought we were going to be sweating it out, and they didn't. They didn't.
No, there wasn't a whole lot of sweating. I mean, there was a little bit, I think, halfway through the third quarter. You're
Everybody
like, okay,
got a
all
little
right.
antsy.
All right, okay, slow down.
But here's the question. If you had to bet right then and there, how many people in Lions fans would have said they're going to lose this game? I bet more than 50%.
Well, I think a lot of people would have said it, but if you said, okay, would you put your money on it, they're going to lose this game, I don't think they would have done that. But people say it all the time. You know, the Lions had the short field in the first half and jumped out to the 24-0 lead. You don't apologize for that. You just don't. You know, the Packers had 3 plays and a fumble. Lions take over at 4 plays, get the 1 yard. They kick a field goal. I mean, they got 1 yard on 3 plays, and they had to kick the field goal. They didn't take advantage of a missed field goal. They come back with 5 plays and a punt. Another missed field goal, 6 plays and a punt. Then they have another fumble. Lions get 4 plays and a touchdown. I mean, you're not going to apologize for going 29 yards. They had the one long drive that was 69 yards and a touchdown. The other touchdown drives were 1 yard and 29 yards in the first half.
Right.
I mean, you say thank you and you move on to halftime, and it's exactly what they did.
248-539-9797. Let's go to John in Temperance here next. Hi, John.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Good.
I'm not a pro football fan per se, but I pay attention. And the one thing no one's mentioning, obviously the score tells you that, but the Lions got in the end zone when they had to get in the end zone. They didn't settle for field goals, and if you don't give them credit for that, then you're not really a fan.
Well, give him credit. Give him credit that LeGarrette Blount, the offseason pickup they got, he did his job. I think he had 6 carries for 6 yards at halftime. Thank you. 2 for touchdowns from the 1 yard line. And I think he had another conversion on a 3rd and short or whatever it was, or 4th and short. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. That's why you signed him up. And it's so refreshing to see, because if that happens last year, same situations, they're not scoring. They didn't score. We saw it all last year. They didn't score. LeGarrette Blount makes a big difference. Now, do I want to see him get the ball over Kerryon Johnson? No. But if it's at the 1 yard line, 1st and goal, do I want to see LeGarrette Blount there? Yes.
That's why they got him.
That's why they got him, and it worked.
248-539-9797. I'm very impressed with the rookie defensive end, Deshaun Hand. He is quietly having a very nice season and could be a big piece of the future of this defensive line. He does not get enough credit. Is not talked about enough. That's from Marlon in Commerce Township.
Well, he had 4 tackles, including a sack, and also hit the quarterback. He looked good yesterday.
Yes. Yeah, the strip sack and then his recovery was awesome.
Yes.
Those were 2 bad teams that played a bad football game, period. That was an awful game to watch. Not sucking me in after that garbage. Stafford wasn't good again. Can this guy ever put together 4 quarters consistently? 4 missed field goals and an extra point. That's from Bob and Troy.
Well, I do think that the game plan changed in the second half for what they were doing. And they didn't have many possessions in the second half either.
I think they had 4 before the kneel down. And
yeah, it was in the second half, they had 9 plays for 33 yards, missed a field goal. Then the Packers scored their second touchdown of the second half, and they answered that with a nice long 75-yard touchdown drive. And then the Packers answered that with a touchdown. Then it was 3 and out, 6 and out, and then the kneel down on one play. They didn't have any possessions.
No, but look, do you think that game has changed from a Lions offensive perspective based upon the score in the second half? That they wanted to run a little clock?
I definitely think they wanted to run some clock.
This is why they tried to improve the run game, so they could drain the clock. You know what you got to do then? You have to turn and hand it off.
Well, I say that, and yet they went 3 and out. The 3 and out was first and 10 to their own 25-yard line. Short pass to Golden Tate, went for no gain. Kind of like a run play, but it was a pass. Then they had a false start. You go to 2nd and 15. Another short pass to Marvin Jones. He runs out of bounds. So it's another pass play. 2nd and 25, Theo Riddick, off tackle for a yard. And 3rd and 24, Riddick up the middle. You know, I mean, you could have, I think everybody in the stands is watching this going, okay, here comes the draw play or here comes a screen pass, which is kind of like waving a white flag, but it's okay at that point because you're trying to run the clock a little.
Stafford's quarterback rating for that game was 101.9, I think.